Welcome to this week's edition of 10 Minutes with Tony Scott. We're here to talk to you about all the happenings in Minnesota hockey the last week or so. Most importantly to YHH was the selection of our Great Plains hockey team, which will be taking part in the North American Hockey Showcase. The team will be coached by former NHLer Dave Snuggerud. Last weekend we held tryouts up in St. Cloud and we announced our team last night. Team is going to be a very, very good team. We have star power like Cruz Lucius, Damon Gardner, and JJ Wybush up front, as well as some great defenders like Jimmy Snuggerud from Chaska and Andrew Cumming from St. Cloud, two names that just kind of jumped off the page at us, or actually jumped off the ice at us during their tryout up in St. Cloud. A couple players that we didn't mention very much of during our article we posted yesterday, we're going to give a little shout out to today. Anthony Madigan from Inver Grove Heights, centerman with great vision, great hockey IQ, great speed, real fun player. We really liked what Anthony brought to the ice on Saturday and Sunday. Another kid that we hadn't seen before was Landon Gunderson from Maple Grove. He'll be a first-year squirt this year for OMG. Landon had great balance, great ice vision, and obviously some wonderful puck skill as well. Another player from Woodbury that we noticed had a great tryout was Dylan Godbout, the son of former Gopher Jason Godbout. Dylan exhibited some unbelievable stick skill and had a great nose for the net. Jack Sweeney is another kid that we didn't mention yesterday in the article from Matamidi. Jack had great feet, really fast, had some great tenacity. We saw Jack a few times last year for White Bear Lake. He'll be playing for Matamidi this year at the squirt level. Jack had unbelievable flair in his game, had a great tryout on Sunday. And finally, speaking of flair, Rochester's Maddox Fleming had the candy striped socks, and that wasn't the only sweet part of his game. He has some great hands and had a great nose from that. Made a lot of great plays in open ice as well as near the net as well. Coming soon to YHH, next week we'll be announcing our YHH 64 teams that will be playing in the Squirtacular this winter. We will have lots of teams coming in from out of state, including Arizona, Colorado, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois will be making their way to Bloomington for the YHH Squirtacular. Really excited to host all these teams from out of state, as well as showing them what a great state of hockey Minnesota is on Hockey Day Minnesota, which is the Saturday of the Squirtacular. Also coming to YHH, we'll be announcing our Bantam AA preseason top 10. The top 3 teams will be pretty easy to identify: Grand Rapids, Edina, and Minnetonka. After that, who knows what the remainder of the preseason top 10 will look like. We'll also be writing our Big Pumpkin preview and predictions. Excited to get up to Moorhead in 10 days or so to broadcast and cover the Big Pumpkin up in Moorhead. We have another article we're working on as well, the hockey parent stereotypes. We solicited some of our readers via Twitter a couple weeks ago, and we got a lot of good ones sent in to us. Here are a few of my favorites, but there'll be several more in the article. The first one is the leave one of your kids at the rink guy. It's kind of a Home Alone version of that, where you, instead of going to Europe and leaving your kid at home, you actually just leave your kid at the rink and realize it sometimes 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes after you leave the rink, and you have to barrel back to get to pick up that last kid that you forgot to put in the minivan or the truck. Another one of my favorites is the shrieker. I got a few of those. It's the screaming mom with the really high-pitched, screeching voice or scream. I had a woman from Stillwater last night, Tara, my left eardrum, I swear, from a few of her screams in their games last year. Another one of mine is what happens out of town guy. It's the guy who goes out of the out of town trip and gets kind of lit up and decides that he can do whatever he wants out of town and not pay any repercussions to the rest of the team or his wife or his family. That one's always an entertaining one to keep an eye out for, is the out of town guy. And then finally, one of my favorites is the excuse maker. When little Johnny or little Jimmy decides to not have a bad game, the mom or the dad always is making up excuses for why their performance wasn't up to par. Or it could just be one shift that could have had a bad shift, and mom and dad are making up excuses for them. There'll be many more in that stereotypes article than those four. Next up, we had a couple thumbs ups. We had, as I mentioned, we had our tryout in St. Cloud. Huge thumbs up today for the 3 girls who showed up to the tryout for the Great Plains team in St. Cloud. Kiana Rasky and Catherine Bell from River Lakes and Ella Borger from Sartell. These girls didn't make it to Sunday, but they definitely caught our eye and are definitely on our radar. They showed great skills, great tenacity. They worked their butts off on Saturday up in St. Cloud. A huge thumbs up to those 3 girls for showing up to the tryout. And finally, a thumbs up to Scott Bell, Pittsburgh Penguins scout. I had a chance to spend last week a Wednesday with him last week. We got to go down to Sioux Falls and take in a game at the Denny Sanford Center between Sioux Falls and Sioux City. It was great to spend the day with Scott and learn about him and what he does as an NHL scout, what he's looking for, and how he projects players for draft and free agency. It was fun to spend some time with him and learn more about what a scout does. We'll be sharing an article about what I learned on that day with Scott Bell. So huge thumbs up to Scott. Thumbs up to all of our fans out there who tune in and watch the show and read our site. We really appreciate all the support that we get here on YHH. We'll see you around the rink. Have a good day.